Les Kershaw went to see him play. He was chief scout at the time because we're playing Forest in 2 weeks' time. And he phoned me on the way back from the game and says, I've seen a player. Then 2 weeks later, he made his debut at Old Trafford.
And that's Roy Keane with the tight haircut.
And throughout the match, his persistence and courage was phenomenal. And I said, this is a player, you know, even although he annoyed me, you know. I thought that Roy was aware of the fact that we'd been phoning Forest for years, you know, I think something like 2.5 years.
Well, obviously Forest was brilliant. 3 years there, brilliant. We had some good times. Again, the usual roller coaster, some highs, massive lows. You know, sport will give you that. And obviously we got relegated my last year. Brian Clough was leaving. We'd obviously just qualified for the '94 World Cup with Ireland. And I had a clause in if we got relegated and if I was sold, you know, I could leave for, I think it was 3.5 after the 1st of September. That's why the fee was 3.75, eventually United. But yeah, I spoke to Blackburn. United hadn't really come in for me at this stage or had agreed fee. And again, this is all a learning process for me. Again, I was 21, 22 and got permission to go to Blackburn. They've offered 4 million. Met Kenny Dalglish, agreed a contract. You know, decent money. I was on about 250,000 a year at Forest, which was a good deal. And Blackburn offered me 400, so it was a nice little pay rise. And Kenny Dalglish wasn't in there long. Shearer was there, and I thought, yeah, these are going places, Blackburn. Agreed a deal on a Friday night.
And the office or something was shot?
Yeah, well, it was late in the evening. The contract talks went on into the evening and agreed a deal. We shook hands and it was a Friday night. They said, will you come back Monday when the offices are back open? Because it was obviously end of season. So I said, yeah, no problem. Went back to Cork. Obviously went on the piss for a few days. Sunday morning, woke up and I got a phone call in my house back in Cork and it was Alex Ferguson. He said, listen, would you come and meet me for talks tomorrow? I said, well, I've shook hands with Blackburn. He said, well, don't worry about that. And flew to Manchester on the Monday and met Brian Kidd, Alex Ferguson.
No, I'll let him win. I was trying to get more money out of it, so I'll let him win.
The usual small talk, you know, they told me how great I was and I believed them. And but the problem was they still hadn't agreed a fee with Forest, so it was all a bit the usual stuff. If there's a few managers here, you know, it talks behind clubs' backs, and they offered me 300,000 a year. It was important because this is the business side of football, you know, and straight away I learned about Man United. It is business as well. So Blackburn were giving me 400,000 a year, and United were offering me 300, and I was on 250 at Forest. So I'm thinking, well, it's not a massive rise, considering it was going to be a kind of a transfer record. So they stalled a little bit and dragged their heels. In the meantime, I did. Blackburn found out, and Kenny Dalglish found out. I'd kind of agreed to go to United, even though I hadn't kind of signed my deal yet. And he was fuming. Again, I guess it's the other side of it. He was effing and blind, and you're a fucking disgrace, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, I'm going on my holidays next week, which I was. I was going to Cyprus with a few lads just to do some sightseeing. And he said, I said, I'm going to Cyprus next week with my mates. I says, when I come back, I'm going to sign for Man United. He says, I'm going to find you. He says, I'm going to come to Ayanapa and find you. So every bar in Ayanapa, I was looking over my shoulder waiting for Kenny Dalglish to walk in.
I've seen him since. Obviously, it's all forgotten about. But it's hard. But I was confused. You know, I was only 21 and I made a few mistakes. You know, and a lot of people were advising me at the time, and I didn't know where I was coming or going. But I knew, forgetting everything else, I knew that I had to go to United, and that's what I did. I made the decision for me, for my career, and I had to let a few people down, but so be it. You know, I got to look after myself.
Manchester United are pleased to announce that we've finally signed Roy Keane this morning, and it is an English record transfer fee.
Do you have an agent in those days?
No, I didn't have an agent.
Just do it yourself?
I was just kind of doing it myself. I'd done the 1 or 2 deals at Forest myself. I was always pretty upfront with clubs like that, you know. I know negotiations, you know, people come in high, they go in low and you meet in the middle. So I'd done my last deal at Forest, and the PFA would give me legal advice, but I was kind of doing the number crunching. But eventually then when United got permission to speak to me, I did say to him, you know, I can't go for 300,000, you need to move. And that's when I got a lawyer involved to help me, and United eventually gave me 350. and gave Forest 3.75 before the deadline. Also, I wouldn't have been able to play in Europe. So that's why the extra 275 came from. Yeah, or 250, sorry, yeah. And I just thought, I just want a bit more than this. I want to win trophies. I'm ready for it. But then going to United opened my eyes, and I was working with Des Walker, Stuart Pearce, really good players. And I went to United. Within a week or two, I thought, I need to up my game here. The United lads were just a bit sharper, quicker. Pat would tell you it was just a different level. But I was like ready for it. I wasn't kind of stepping back on, I'm not sure I can cope with this. I was like, yeah, bring it on. This is what I'm in the game for. And United was everything I thought it would be. You've had grown up. Pat mentioned there about getting paid to play football. It is unreal. Even now I look back and go, fucking hell, did that really happen? It is.
Yeah.
Not that I was playing football, but getting paid to go to work every day, getting in your car and going playing football, and getting a decent. I wasn't getting much as Pat, but I was getting a decent wage.